Hello everybody, Force Montes here. Finally, again, with some new knife, which is actually not really new. In my collection, I own it for a couple of weeks, and that is this Civivi Tamashii. It's a beautiful knife. I bought it just because I had very good price for it, and also I like the design. So Tamashii, designed by Bob Terzuola. I've seen a couple of his knives. Mostly look like kind of maybe self-defense knives or that kind of tactical use. I would say definitely not a kitchen knife like this one. So nice designs, but this one I really like the most. This is really nice, Tamashii. Okay, let's start with that. It came in the really nice package. Civivi. So this is very known for it. I don't know, but who was this one even? Oh no, that's the how much I paid for it. Doesn't matter. So what's important? There was this some cordage lashed here. I don't like it there. It's nice to have it there, but absolutely for me unpractical. But it's just my vision. Civivi sticker. A moment. And there was also this, I don't know how you call it, but simply piece of, it's kind of leather, very fine leather or something like that. So nice to dry your blade. Okay, that's the box. It's nice package with the price, and I would say it's very nice actually to have all these. Okay, what's important is how sharp the knife is when it came. This is still an original edge. I've sliced it a couple of times with it, but not many times. Interesting on this knife is the secondary bevel is 0.6 of millimeter. Repeat myself again, when the knife is about 0.8 of millimeter, for me it becomes to be a good slicer for me. So this is 0.6, so this should be great slicer, but actually it's not that good as I expected. So very simple piece of soft wood, so it slices pretty well, but when I try to use it for some kind of wood processing, which of course we'll say, okay, this knife isn't actually meant to be that, but with the thickness, D2 steel and these things, we will go to it a little bit later. Why not? So generally, of course, if as an EDC knife, then just use it for everything. So I try to use it for my kind of bushcrafty stuff, and of course I'm gonna do some test in that bushcrafty way, because that's I usually use my knives. So that will be that. It didn't went or bite that much into wood, and that was really interesting for me. I've seen it on my tops knives. I mentioned that a couple of times when the initial bite was great because the knife was really sharp, but then it stops, and this is the same thing. Why? Because as you can see, the silver line of grinding, just if you go 1 millimeter to the spine, just 1 millimeter, that's for you guys who doesn't know what millimeter is, it's just something like the very minor distance, I would say. It jumps to 1 millimeter, from 0.6 to 1 millimeter. So the angle of the grinding jumps really steep that way. So that's why it doesn't bite into wood that much as I would expect it, especially with such a thin grinding. So the knife feels sharp, as you can see on the paper. Yeah, it slices, but I like to have, especially with these, I would say kind of thin blades, more sharper. Anyway, sharp enough. I believe it shaved. It's actually shaving even now. So that's the what I said, the tops Tops knives. It chafes, it bites, but when you carry on with your slice, then you start to feel, you know, the power back, I would say. Just you have to press more into the material. So my only competitive options here for this knife, which is okay, could be topic for a bit late in this video, are what I've got here is my Bark River Mini Aurora, talking about the same thickness of blade, 3.3 millimeters about, Mini Aurora CPM 3D, and my Kisljar City Hunter. Change the profile of that, you know it, but the thickness of the spine is very close. I think this is 3.5. I'm not sure, but it's very close. These are very close, and just for the size, that's why I've got them here, only to show you the size, general size of the Tamashii. So you can see it's slightly longer handle, quite long for such a short blade, but why not? But in the blade length, these two, the City Hunter and the Tamashii, are pretty much same, I believe, exactly the same. And the Mini Aurora is slightly shorter. I mean, in the blade, real edge 1 centimeter shorter, but as you can see, overall knife is just nice 1.5 inch, somewhere like that. Okay, but what I want to say, these are very light in the handle thickness. See, the Tamashii has very, very thin handle. I believe someone complained on it. This is the City Hunter. See that? Oh guys, this is I would say almost twice as thick as the Tamashii. And a Spyderco Manix XL, the thickness only, the thickness of the handle. That's why I've got it here. Especially we can see it here. See that? So the thickness of the folder is very close to the fixed blade. So very thin handle. Somebody mentioned that in the video on YouTube. For someone it could be too thin, and I really agree. When you grab it, well, it kind of disappears in hand, even in my medium to large hand, not really big one. Don't know how this one would work with the gloves, but okay, few specs. So 128 grams just knife, or 4.5 ounces. The sheath, by the way, Kydex, very nice, very nicely done. Moment. So sorry about that, the disruption here. So the Kydex sheath, very nice. There was an original Civivi T clip, which I really like, but for me, I changed that. This is cold steel kind of clip. I don't know. It came in pair in these. So I attached this one because the Civivi T clip is great, but it's in size is mid in between. If you remember, you got experience with small tech lock and big tech lock. So this is something in the middle, which is great. But for this knife, or actually this sheath, it's really, for me it's too big, but it's fine absolutely. But I'd like to have on such a small knife something simply smaller. That's only thing which I said. This sheath is absolutely great. The retention is nothing really, guys. So you can eventually have it in this way because the knife is really light, but still for me the sheath is really oversized. If you see the spare area here and here, so if you stick these two halves in one, you get another knife, and they are existing. These rivets are small. This is even bigger. This may be about 8 millimeters, something like that. So standard is 6.4 millimeters, as I remember, and they got 4.6 millimeters, so much smaller, but still very functional. So definitely from one side I would add this, because the T-clip could be attached just on side, or could be it is attached only on one side. So let's say you can attach it from this side. So this side could be a bit slimmer. I would say 0.2 of an inch. It's not that much, but still, you know, this knife is really thin in profile. So why to make it bigger when you carry it? Doesn't matter how thin or small your blade is. If you carry, let's say, EDC, or one scream around, or look, I got a knife. So you want to keep everything like undercover, and then you got small and big sheath on it. Like for example, that's what I really don't like, and I changed that for myself on the Black Hawk Tatank. That was really, there was 3 centimeters, so over 1 inch of spare area on that. Why? I don't understand that. Just a boo boo boo. This one could be better, but it's still great sheath. So absolutely. Or even this one. See the end. This is 1 centimeter. This spare for what? Absolutely. This one is for nothing here. If you imagine, many times they use these lashing points, let's say, okay, it secures the knife, but if that will be those smaller ones, as I said, or even these, and you move them a little bit higher, let's say to this position, you can cut this one just at least 5 millimeters, and it will be even shorter, so smaller and lighter and everything you want. And of course, for security, if the knife goes through, you know, that's why you got these 2 rivets there, if not for some lashing or just keeping the sides together. So if you take this, the knife came through and pierced here, that's why these are too close. So you are scared or aware of it. Unbelievable. I don't know how you can do it. Just hold a knife this and smash it really, then I don't believe it anyway. So for me, this one could be shorter, and this side could be thinner. So all the profiles, if you carry, even the knife is really nice and slim and small, and these things, the sheath isn't. So that will be better for me. But anyway, as I said, general, the sheath is great. It's one from the best sheath. I mean, Kydex, in the shape, how tight it is, with the excellent T-clip, for me, one from the best on the market today compared to price. So this is absolutely great. The retention is that great. Then if I carry it upside down sometimes, and I just want to take it like down and take it off, it takes time. Simply, it's attached to my belt. I need to pull down. And then it is, so for me it's a little bit over, but it's better than it will lose. So sheath, great, absolutely. I would say, if I at some 5 stars the best, this will be something like 4.5 or something like this one, because as I said, it's overbuilt for me. That's my vision. So sheath Kydex, excellent. Sorry, the sheath 55 grams, 1.9 ounces. Altogether, overall weight is 180 grams or 6.4 ounces, or like this one. Of course, I don't count this to that. It is made of D2 steel. So another thing, I don't have any, I think this is my very first Civivi knife. They got a couple of nice designs, but okay. I stay with the Tamashii now, which is hardened for 59 to 61 HRC. So for me, first experience with D2. I definitely changed the grind and put my secondary convex on it, because that will slice even better. So I wonder how nice it will be, and how hard it will be to put it on it, because D2, let's say in mid-range 60 HRC is definitely not soft steel. G10 handles, you can buy few variations of this knife with these black G10 handles, with green, let's say nice green or light green handles, or dark green. It's really screams to black, but it's still green. So some special edition, I believe. So 3 variations of handle and 2 variations of blade to it. So one without coating, so I believe it's stone wash, I'm not sure. I believe it's, yes, stone wash or black. So 2 versions of the blade and 3 versions of the handle combinations. The dark green and the stone wash version are not available, only with the black coating on it. At the CVT clip, I said that. Thickness of the blade is 4.5 millimeters. Oh, sorry guys, that was my fault. Sorry, this is 4.5, but of course only here. So as I said, this is 3.3, so I added them the same, but these are not. But I believe you agree with me, it tapers down very fast. So this is very fine tip. I believe comparable with this. Very fine tip. So that's why. So 4.5 here. By the way, rounded. The spine is rounded. So if you want to, let's say, use it for, it's not made for it, but okay, for your ferro rod, it doesn't work probably because it's nicely round. You can feel that there is some kind of jimping, very light jimping. The secondary bevel, what I said, is 0.6, but plus 1 millimeter. To the spine, you are on the 1 millimeter, 0.9, I've got 0.9 or to 1 millimeter, so definitely kind of chopper way of the blade length is 4.07 of an inch, and or 10.3 centimeters. Handle length is 4.73 or 12.2, so the very long handle, 12.2 centimeters. And overall is 8.8 inches or 22.35 centimeters. So quite a long knife, especially with the long handle, but I like it. You see that here. Black Kydex, what I said. The texture on the G10, there is some kind of texture. You might see that. But it's very light texture. There is texture here. This is also G10, but this is much. When I touch like this one on the handle, I feel the texture. When I do it the same on this knife, it seems to be like polished. No, it's not like that. I feel that, but it's absolutely very minor. So the one from the thing is, if you use it, and this is absolutely not a kitchen knife, as you can see, even might be used in kitchen. It's probably self-defense knife or EDC self-defense kind of knife. So if you need to use it for stabbing, well, I will be really aware to go over. Interesting is, have a look where the grind actually starts. It really starts here. So there is almost 1 centimeter of spare area, like ricasso. Even it looks like sharpened, but it's not. Hope you can see that. I don't see it. So if you need to stab well, this one could happen, because as I said, the texture isn't really that big. But for slashing these things, yeah, for some poking, or how you call this, that could be nice for it, especially when you cover in the palm on this way, then of course it stops here. But anyway, this could be very functional knife. I got a kind of robe here also. This is very cordage. This is very tough cordage, I would say. Definitely close to standard. Absolutely nice. I do it for you to see how this Civivi Tamashii can work for you as an EDC. So some kind of combat, tactical, urban, whatever EDC. Yes, of course you can see the kind of switch. It's absolutely not sharpened. You can see there is really nice space for it. And by the way, it looks generally like Japanese tanto, especially the blade itself. This one is not really Japanese style of handles, but if you put in this one online, just the space between the spine and the surface will be about 2 millimeters. So this one could call you, well, I'm really, you know, I'm going back, like I'm turned back like a saber or something. But in reality, it's just a little bit. The general shape of the knife works like that, especially with this kind of S shape. I like it. I really like it. So, but this is not really some turned blade in this way. They've seen definitely more kind of dagger Asian style. I mean the Middle East or something like that. They were more turned the daggers to this side. So this is not that kind. Even this one looks very curved. That's the word. So very curved. It's not. It's not. It's just very light. So I like the knife. I like it. It's very light, very handy, and I bought it generally because I like the design. I like the design. Anyway, you're gonna see it on some test video. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Bye.